Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of BFT Hangout. Got your three North Americans back on again. Back here with y'all. Tosin
Yo, what's up? What's up?
and Abdul.
Yo, what up? What up? Long time no talk.
Long time, dude. Honestly, I think we need to just start from left field. And dog, Ruben Neves went to Wolves. I just think that should be like, Ruben Neves went to Wolves, bro. Like, just think about that. What is Jorge, what is Jorge Mendes doing? Like, Wolves? Yo, Zach, how are people taking this? This is just so strange to me, man. Like I can't believe it.
I mean, as an adopted Liga Nos expert, I don't know. It's kind of weird because, like, on the one hand, Ruben Neves barely played this season because he was injured. Like, I don't know. I guess a lot of people some people thought he was overrated, but I think the main feeling in the Porto community is that you already sold Andre Silva. Um, I mean, you're gonna be selling probably more players. Like I would expect I would expect Ricardo Pereira to leave because I think he's too good to be kept. I mean, Ruben Neves. Whatever you think. Look, the thing is, I mean, Porto's midfield for me is their weakest area. Hector Herrera is pretty terrible. Um, Danilo is great, but everyone else is like not a. I mean, look,
Wow.
Captain
Honestly,
he was from their youth academy.
yeah.
I think it's just. I mean, it's sad to see Porto basically have to bend over for a championship team because of FFP regulations. But I mean that's
Like
yeah.
I was reading about it earlier. Apparently Wolves have been taken over by this Chinese group
Mm,
called Fosun International.
yeah.
Um, and so Jorge Mendes has ties to that company, like to that Chinese entity.
Yeah. I mean,
He's been the man behind the deal. Like that's how Ruben Neves has been able to make this move. Like this is strange, bro. Like you could just understand agents, man. Like it's all been about the agents this summer, man.
mhm,
Seriously.
it is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie and say that I watch championship football, but I mean, this Wolves team already has like Helder Costa and Ivan Caballero.
Yo,
Um,
Abdul, man, like what you gotta say on this, man?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think isn't this guy the guy that Liverpool like couldn't afford 2 years ago?
Mm,
I don't even think it was that. I just think he was linked and it was said to be a done deal, but it never happened
Yeah, but it
because
wasn't even
Liverpool,
just
just small
Liverpool.
club.
I think like 3 or 4 teams were in for him. It was kind of a bidding war at one point, and um,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
he
it
was.
was like I think it was Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal were all interested.
Yeah, and I think that he's
Like,
still young, right?
yeah.
yeah,
So I
he's
just don't.
20, I think, or 21.
I don't get
How
this.
old is
Like,
he?
I mean, is he getting that much money from Wolves, or is it just that
Dude,
like it just doesn't?
Wolves finished 12th in the championship. They're in championship purgatory. Like this isn't
Um,
some good team
say,
like
like
he
it's
moved to.
option for promotion.
They didn't even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Nope.
They weren't even close.
And from I
Dang,
think from
man.
what I've seen of him, he's not like a championship player, like in terms of even style of play.
He's
He's a
played
champion.
at the Champions League level.
Yeah,
Like this
across the Champions League.
Yeah, the Champions League, the championship
he's
is.
had some great showings in the Champions League against Chelsea. He bossed Chelsea
Yeah,
game, I remember, in 2014. Like how is this possible? Like this is just weird. Like yeah.
It is.
Okay, just moving on from that, man. Let's not fucking get stuck in Nevs. But yeah, man. This afternoon on Instagram, yo, like honestly, just this past week on Instagram, we saw Paula Beal, we saw Sergi Ibaka, Lukaku. Man, like Jay-Z says, man, like these dudes dress all white, no socks. Like they like, dude, man, like they were on that La Cocaína, man. Like where to Sean Carter, bro? Like this
Why do
was.
you have to be Ibaka like that? Like he's not gonna get knocked out by Washington the first round again.
Oh please, man, Sergi Ibaka, best power forward in the league. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Like so. Look, I'm just sizing. I size that. But back to Pogba, man. So and just Lukaku United. Like this has been the story of the past few weeks. Like we got to talk about it. Like what do y'all think? Like
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I literally went to bed thinking that Morata to Real Madrid. I mean, Morata to United was a done deal, and I wake up like 3 hours later, um, in the middle of my sleep, just use the washroom, and I check my Twitter, and all of a sudden, Lukaku's a done deal to United. Uh, so it was
And now,
pretty crazy. Like at first, I thought it was just maybe like a leak by United, maybe to kind of send a message to Real Madrid that we have a plan B. But like as the day went on, it was obvious that it was actually happening.
yeah, like once you
So,
just saw the vacay
in
picture.
my opinion, United did the right thing because Lukaku is a safer bet than
Much more
Morata.
proven.
Seeing it for
Yeah.
weeks, like Morata's not a reliable goal scorer, especially when he's your number one option. Is Lukaku like a world class player? No, but he's especially in the Premier League. I'm pretty confident that he will do the job. In
Yeah.
Europe, we're gonna have to see, but definitely, if I was Mourinho, I'm definitely taking Lukaku over Morata. That's for sure.
oh, definitely. And I think it's pretty insane how Madrid got so close to really, achieving highway robbery on United when at some point United came to their senses and decided that they would buy a proven scorer instead of a player who nobody really knows what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting
Yeah.
how all the people that actually rate Morata really, really highly don't really watch him. Like,
Yeah.
um, because Morata is one of those players that, like, first of all, he is a good player, right? But he's one of those players where, like, if you watch him on YouTube, he'll definitely look much better than he does on the pitch.
Look, that first half versus Bayern at the Allianz just gave him a career.
Exactly.
I'm seriously like it just
Yeah,
put him at a status that he's just not at.
yeah. I mean, because
Like okay, he had a hot 45 minutes playing on the counter against a Bayern side that are prone to counters. You know,
no, I
like
credit
they're
to
not
him, but
dead
the
eggs.
people
But
that don't watch him think he's like, well, he's obviously Spain's number 9. Supposedly, he wears the number 7, so everyone compares him to Raúl, which, as a Real Madrid fan, I think is
oh god, that is
disrespectful,
disrespectful as
disgusting,
fuck.
and blasphemous.
That is come on.
Like, yeah, every time
Because
I
he
hear
scored
that,
in a few Champions League games, they think this dude is Mr. Champions League.
yeah. So
Like, come
it
on.
was like, as a Real Madrid fan, I'm a bit disappointed because obviously I wanted to get the 80 million and run. But I do think Chelsea will buy him for about the same price, anyways.
And we can't. Conte bought him at Juve before he dipped,
No,
though.
it was
In that same.
wait, was it Conte or
No, yeah, Conte bought him, but Allegri inherited him.
Uh-huh.
Allegri never honestly, genuinely rated him.
Yeah, because
Seriously.
Conte left like halfway through
Yeah,
the summer.
Conte left. Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is just you know,
But honestly, like,
dude, United fans have zero shame because like for literally months they like an absolute for seasons.
what are you talking about?
They said he was just
They've always rated Lukaku.
Okay, no, I'm saying United fans for the most part just like hated on Lukaku. They're like,
That's not true. That's false.
that's bullshit. No, no, no. They said like, oh, Chelsea are gonna what?
I
Chelsea?
never saw any United fans hating on
United
Lukaku.
fans were making first touch, the Lukaku first touch.
I never saw those. I never saw those. I don't know what y'all talking about.
We're just like, oh my god.
So
But I don't. If I was a United fan, I'd still be underwhelmed though because they could have gotten Griezmann, and all of a sudden they had to choose between Lukaku and Morata.
Well, they couldn't really get.
nah, they were look. A number 9 was the option. Griezmann or no Griezmann. Like a number
I just
9
don't think.
was.
I think Lukaku's better than Morata, but I don't think Lukaku's that good. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're United,
Lukaku, you guys need to understand, like every season since 2014, I'd say.
yeah,
Since the first season he was at Everton, where in his first outing in Europe, albeit it was the Europa League, he comes in and he finishes as the Europa League's top scorer. You know, like, and then the season after, the first 7 months into 2015, he says in an interview with Thierry Henry, he was unplayable. You look at the stats, he says he felt in those 7 months that he was just unplayable. This past season, he just had his best ever season, you know, in terms of statistically.
that's
Now, he has some
that's
shortcomings. He has some shortcomings, you know.
yeah, that's why he's a
Um,
very good player. But then, I mean, when you look at the stats, he's excellent, and when you look at how he's, and what the most impressive thing, you know what I like most about him? I watched some of his interviews. His football IQ, like the way he understands his career, the way he talks
yeah,
about what he wants to achieve, is just amazing. Like, not many footballers are that intelligent. Um,
yeah,
but on the other hand, when I look at his skill set, I just don't see him ever becoming like that, like
yeah. I know what you
top
mean.
player, you know, like that top three striker kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we'll have to see. But if you can see, like his game, that you can just attribute this to the influence of R9, Thierry Henry. Like his game is he's not a target man. You know, he wants to play off the shoulder. He wants to drift to the right and take on a fullback. You know what I mean?
That's the difference
So,
between someone that watches him and someone that doesn't. Like when you see people talk about Lukaku, they think he's a hold up play, like
yeah,
he holds up play, but his hold up play is actually not even that good.
exactly. That's what his hold up play is actually that's what he was poorest in the
Yeah,
beginning, you know, like and Roberto Martinez had to, you know, and recently Ronald Koeman, you know, they had to work with him on those you know, those attributes. But yeah, man. We'll see,
so
man. We'll see what United do with
I
this.
think the crazy thing about this is that isn't necessarily that United signed him; it's that Chelsea missed out on him after chasing him for like months and months.
That is true.
Um,
But at the
so
same time,
Conte
also
is
getting the.
livid.
I mean,
I think we need to transition to Chelsea from that. So what is the outlook for Chelsea? Because they haven't even finalized the Bakayoko deal.
Can I say
Like
one thing?
everything is just going as
I,
slowly as possible.
I just want to say one thing. I think if Chelsea miss out on Bakayoko, um, mark my words, if Chelsea
Conte
miss out on
did.
Bakayoko to
Conte did.
United, Conte will hand
Conte
in
did.
his
Conte did.
I'm telling you,
He'll
Conte
just
does not fuck around. At
he
Juventus,
doesn't give a
he
fuck.
was
He don't give
promised.
a fuck.
Yeah, he was promised Juan Iturbe, if you recall, and Beppe
Yeah.
Marotta told him that they don't want to invest in him. Whatever. This guy literally, from what I understand, from the stories I understand, he literally stormed out of the building and texted him his resignation,
yeah.
just like
So
that.
wait, but okay. So let's look at Conte's look for just the football purists, you know, the football hipsters, the nerdy dudes. Let's look at Conte's like the players he's wanted. So he's wanted Morata, he wanted Juan Iturbe, who was a mess at Roma.
Absolutely still is.
He wanted Giaccherini at Chelsea. Like he's wanted some players that, albeit they fit his like his ethos. Like, do you think the players he also wanted Ross Barkley. You know what I mean? Like,
And then he wanted Lukaku, right? So like that's not an excuse for the Chelsea boy.
Jose Mourinho wanted Renato Sanchez over Paul Pogba, so let's not play like let's not point fingers here, okay?
nah, there will be like a signing or two. I think Conte's made some great signings. He signed Pirlo, so he'll have his great. He has his great signings, but he signed
But that's
Vidal.
what philosophers like. I
Yeah.
was reading something about the different types of managers. You have managers that like Mourinho that don't necessarily have like a specific philosophy. Especially in his prime, he was much more adaptable. And then you have philosophers, like guys like Pep, for example, who just have a certain way of playing, and they just always believe that that's the right way of playing. I think
Exactly.
Conte falls into that category in terms of like he has a system, and you could get him a player that's 5 times more talented than the player that he prefers, and he would still prefer his choice just because like that's how he wants to play. Like Conte, let's not forget, Conte used to bench
It
Verratti for
works.
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he
Exactly.
used to bench Verratti. Like that's just fucking crazy.
That's so crazy.
And you know what?
That's
He went
madness.
to the Euros with a disgusting
Carolo.
squad, and
Like who else? Like dude, and those dudes actually outplayed Spain. Like, think about that.
like literally outplayed them. They didn't beat them. They literally outplayed them.
They outplayed them from minute 1 to 90.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
But at the same time, I mean, he is a fantastic coach. I mean, he doesn't need. I mean, Jose Mourinho, has been great in the transfer market for United, but he needs new signings to really carry him. Whereas it's sort of the opposite. Yeah. Interesting.
You kind of drowned out there. I didn't really hear what you said.
Oh no, I
Um,
was saying that. Don't you think that Conte is sort of the opposite of Mourinho in regards to transfers?
oh, the opposite of Mourinho?
In regards to
Um,
transfers.
I don't know. I think they like the same type of players, in a sense. They want, physically adept, um, players that will attack, that will like heed, their instructions. Tactically, they don't really want. But I think Mourinho, in a sense, though, he actually likes the more luxurious players. He'll go after, like he it doesn't matter. He'll go after, just like recently he went after Paul Pogba. He went after, at Real Madrid. He went after, I don't know what was it. He went after Modric.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah, but his
so
idea of Modric was to play him as a number 10.
yeah, that's true. I remember he did that at the Copa del Rey final in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I mean, he just likes his pivots like that. He likes.
Yeah.
But that's funny because I expected someone because Modric is great
Actually,
defensively
2004, Mourinho, all he signed was superstars in that summer. He
at
just,
Chelsea. Yeah,
yeah, so,
speaking of which, I think it brings us to a very interesting question between Conte and Mourinho, which I think could culminate in the transfer saga of the summer, which is James Rodriguez. Do you think he'll stay, or where? If he does go, where do you see him?
well, James is definitely gonna leave, especially after Ceballos is a done deal, pretty much.
yeah, I just feel Mendes. I think James personally would want Manchester United, but I just feel all this recent, um, I just think Mourinho doesn't want James actually. Um, because I don't. Most of the reports say that he hasn't really shown any desire. It seems like Perisic is who he wants, which is odd. But
Why
if you
is
get
that?
James in the hole, he's superb. And, like, he'd be incredible for United.
Yeah, I
Um,
was saying like James. There are two players that are available right now that I don't like understand why no one is necessarily interested in. James and Aubameyang. Like for me, I'm not even Aubameyang.
Aubameyang's too expensive.
No, not really. Think about it. Dortmund,
70 mil.
yeah, Dortmund are asking for 70 mil. Lukaku just went for close to 100 mil with bonuses. So, if is Lukaku really better than Aubameyang? I mean, he's younger, but if I'm paying
Yeah,
100,
Lukaku's younger.
yeah, but if I'm paying 100 with bonuses for
Uh,
Lukaku, then I think around 70 mil for Aubameyang is a good deal.
That's true.
I don't think that's just Mourinho's. Is that Mourinho's type of
No, I'm
striker?
not talking about Mourinho. I'm just talking like generally speaking. Not a lot of teams are interested in James and Aubameyang, which is odd.
Well, I think it's
Man, Mendes has really kind of underperformed this summer because
Yeah,
the biggest
he
deal.
hasn't given either player an avenue out, and Madrid are not budging. You know, this is a team that just won 3 Champions League in 4 years. Like they're gonna stick to
well,
what their valuation is, and they're not
apparently
gonna,
Perez is not settling for less than
yeah.
80 million for James, which is fair because I'm sorry, James is only 25. He's one of the most he's one of the biggest names in football in terms of marketing. He's one of the biggest names in football. He's a brilliant player. And you look at the prices in this market, at least 80 million. I think that's a fair price.
Mm. I mean,
Like who's gonna do it?
yeah, exactly. I think that it's tough because James is a brilliant player, but so many teams just will not even go close to playing with a 10. And it's tough because James is, I don't know, I guess seen as sort of a luxury player, even though he's brilliant because he doesn't score quite enough goals. I mean, his position is sort of considered obsolete by many. Um, so I personally see him going for 60 million. Um, but I mean, his ability does merit.
The thing about James is he just gives you
And
so
product.
if he goes to United, yeah, he just gives you like I mean, James at United, I think he would at least get 15 goals and 20 plus assists, maybe.
He's won 2 Champions League. I mean, that's
Oh, 20 plus assists.
Yeah, I think in all comps he would get close to 20 goals, and I think he gets 20 plus assists. Um, he's just like he's. I think his most underrated trait is just like his movement. That's how he scores a lot of goals. Like he has that Lampard-esque movement in him. Obviously, not to that same level, but he does have it. And I mean, the guy is only 25. He can improve. He can peak in
Yeah.
like 3-4 years. So
Yep.
that's.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget James. His peak under Ancelotti in 14-15, he was brilliant. Like he was just a joy to watch.
Oh. Yeah, he was. Even season, um, he was brilliant. I remember the performance at Anfield. Like, I know he wasn't really that good in that whole first half, but just that pass for Ronaldo,
Ronaldo, yeah,
at the El Clasico where he does the reverse for Benzema to
yeah,
put them up 3-1. Like, he just had so many class moments that season that
yeah. I
people.
just he's unlucky as well. Like that chance he missed at
Juventus.
Juventus Stadium.
That's just unlucky.
Yeah,
That's so
and
unlucky.
the second leg he did win the penalty, if you recall, in the second leg against Juventus at the Bernabeu. He won the
He did.
penalty.
Yeah, he did.
Um,
He did.
yeah, I
But he
just
was
like if
awful that game.
I can't remember to be honest, but like
Dude, he was getting abuse all over Madrid Twitter.
if
I
I'm
just remember.
for me, James, I think the clubs that are interested are probably going to be United, PSG, and somewhere in Italy, maybe Milan and Inter are just going to kind of monitor monitor like the his status and just see like for example if no one is buying him by like late August, then Inter and AC Milan might be like, okay, if we can get him for like 60 mil.
I'm shocked Chelsea haven't. It seems Chelsea just aren't at.
Bayern, every single team is stockpiling talent, some of which they don't even need, and Bayern is just sitting around like Like, okay, Alexis, James, all these great players who could instantly boost their attack are just sitting around waiting to be.
That's true. They need a left winger.
They're settling with Gnabry, Robin and Riri, who
No, actually, I read that Mowbray, they want him loaned out. They just bought him. They just bought his rights or some shit like that. I can't remember, but they just brought him in to loan him
why
out.
aren't they going after? Look, Robin and Ribery are, so old. No, I mean, I'm just saying Douglas Costa is leaving. Coman is pretty raw, and Thomas Müller is coming off the worst season of his career. I do not see why Bayern aren't going throwing everything they have at James or Alexis. Doesn't make sense.
Because winning the league wouldn't be hard, and they have
they
have one of the best midfielders in the world. They have probably the best back line in football, except if they can the best back five of football, if they can address their right back situation.
No, I disagree.
Arguably, I can just say that arguably.
Yeah,
we can add that as a caveat.
But Carvalho is better than any right back they'll sign. Ramos is better than any center back they have.
That's what else? What else?
A lot better than
Marcelo's better than Alaba.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying it's neck and neck, really.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just surprised that I think what's his name, Costa to Juventus is pretty much a done deal.
Look, I just want to point to the talent Bayern have. Like that's a great back five. That's a world-class level back five. You can't argue it. Sorry.
And a world-class midfield.
And a world-class midfield. And a world-class number 9.
Yeah, Bayern are not in trouble.
Dude, so that's still good enough to win the Champions League at present.
I agree.
Yeah. So what they just need is just reinforcement along the wings. Like maybe just they need a game changer. That's it, really. That's the only position where I think
I agree.
They need strengthening.
Well, they need a right back.
And right back, sure.
Well, I think what Zach means is that, like, especially for the last few years, Bayern have just been so stacked that. And the thing about Bayern is that throughout the years, usually they're just proactive. Like before a problem even pops up, they try to cover up for it. So it's kind of weird how they are just selling Costa, and they're not really linked to any big names.
And how they've just allowed Robben, Lam, Alonso, Ribery to stay in the starting 11 for so many years.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Until they have to retire. I think that, they once were stacked, but I feel like
they were stacked last season. They just
yeah. They were.
Do you honestly think Barcelona last season beats that Bayern squad? Do you think Barca beat Bayern now? I don't think so.
I think that
really don't.
Barcelona. I think that Bayern have a better squad than Barcelona. I think that if they go head to head, Barcelona would still beat them.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. It's tough. Barcelona have had, probably along with Chelsea, the worst Mercato amongst like any club so far this season. This summer, but they still are Barcelona. You have to expect them to do something, at least get one good signing in. I don't know who that.
Well, the Barcelona I've seen haven't made a semifinal in God knows how long, So I'm saying like there's a vulnerability. Everyone around Europe can smell vulnerability in Barcelona. It's just that simple. But with Barcelona, what do you think has been the problem with Barcelona? so far this transfer window. So Ceballos rejected them for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Also, did you see like Ceballos' tweet history? That
yeah.
shit is crazy. But yeah, Ceballos rejected them for Barca. And they're trying to bid for
Paulinho apparently is a done deal.
Gardner, dog. Like that's what they're bidding for,
But
dog. Like Paulinho, dog. Like,
let's get
come
to
on, man.
Mr. Verratti and the madness that Mr. Nasser.
Nasser Khalifi, man. Oh man, what a don, bro. What a don. The
Verratti really
don
thought he
dog.
was gonna bully him into selling him to Barca. This man,
Dude, he made him apologize. He said
bro,
apologize. He said you should
like
apologize.
I've never
Oh my
seen anything like that. I've seen footballers come out and
god.
claim that the media was like I've seen footballers come out and just confirm that they're happy. But I've never seen a footballer apologize. That was just,
And they did it on social media. Like, yo,
and the guy looked like he was
this is
about
what
to cry.
everyone could know. Dude, but honestly, this is what Halifi has always done, man. Remember when Aurier insulted Blanc?
Yeah,
Um, he made Aurier do a video apology, and Aurier was fucking up so many times. I think that he said that he'd sell him or something immediately, or like, I don't know. I think it said he actually put his hands on him. I think that was the report, allegedly. Allegedly, this is a podcast, but we don't have. Sometimes we may report fake news,
yeah.
but yeah, but yeah, allegedly he put his hands on him.
So what do you mean
So
by put his hands on him? Like what do you mean? Like,
because he was fucking around with the apology, like
okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, he wasn't doing it right. He wasn't doing the video right. So
Oh, so like he was actually in the room with him.
yep, he was in the room. I'm sure Halafi was in the room when
So
Verratti was doing that video. I'm
did you see the
100% sure.
did you see the tweet with that picture of Verratti in the interview and then a gun?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
So that might have actually been realistic. That might have happened.
Oh man, dude, so many L's for Barca. Like football is back, man.
It's crazy because we gave PSG, I mean, kind of a bigger L than
I don't know what you're talking about. Next season, PSG gonna smash y'all. Like that's the real. Like
PSG are
uh,
going to be playing Arsenal and Milan in the Europa League by the time we're in the quarterfinals. All right.
man, we'll see, man. We'll see. Like Barcelona, man. As I said, man, they got that broke nigga DNA. Like
Exactly.
they just ain't out there, man. They ain't out there like that.
So
But one thing I will give Barca credit for is how seamless the Messi contract extension went. Like they said, it was the most. It was easily the most. Seamless talks like they've had in a while in terms of there were no disputes, nothing, and it just went smoothly, pretty much the whole ordeal. And yeah.
I think the thing about Barca is that it's looking like Paulinho and Lucas Lima are gonna be their summer signings. Two players that don't even play in Europe. I
It's
mean,
crazy.
honestly, like
And
I
have no history of
yeah, I mean
you
that's not
know
even good enough for a
of
team
a
like
Barcelona.
that's not even good enough for a team like Bilbao or like a team like is that even good enough for a team like Celta?
Paulinho is not Tottenham level right now.
Yeah,
He's not.
you're literally signing two players that don't even play in Europe, and that's your transfer market. So I would like to think that that's not even good enough for most top 10 clubs in Europe's top 4 or 5 leagues. I'm being dead serious. Like I'm being dead serious.
This
And
is next level. This is next level mismanagement.
yeah, and the thing is, the board are gonna be able to sell the Paulinho transfer to most people. Obviously, not everyone, because Some people are knowledgeable enough to know that Paulinho is not good enough, but they could actually sell the transfer because he does start for Brazil.
Yeah.
And because he starts for Brazil, they could, sell it as a big signing. Especially that he scored like 3 or 4 goals in his last game for, you know what I mean. Um, yeah, it's crazy. As a Madrid fan, I'm not complaining. But it's crazy. Like you've got what's his name, Ceballos. He turned down Barcelona, where he could have easily actually started, and he chose to be a seventh choice midfielder at Real Madrid.
It seems like he hates Catalan and Basques. Like he just
And he does that as well, so that's why I kind of like him.
he went straight from Madrid, man, to the
He says that
heart of Spain.
his idol is Modric, like so. I'm already in love.
I could have sworn, man, he has so many. He's had like so many different thoughts over the. You can just see it from his fucking Twitter, like.
Yeah.
I think it was when I think it was the 2015 Copa del Rey final where the Basque supporters, it was Bilbao versus Barca. I think it was the same season. Yeah, and they just booed the Spanish national anthem. So that prompted Ceballos to tweet out death to the Catalans or some shit like.
That's crazy because
that's insane.
I think at the time he was actually he was 18, right? He wasn't that young. That was only 2 years ago. And
yeah, what though? That is insane.
Yeah, so he was probably I think in the first team at the time, like at least as a sub or as a bench player. So it wasn't that long ago. It was exactly actually 2 years ago, like in 20.
What do you think about his game? What do you think about his game?
He's a great ball carrier, like his dribbling.
He's unreal. His I think,
and he's
a special talent.
He has that Isco,
short pass, just that short pass.
He has that disrespect in his game that Isco used to have when he was in Malaga. You know, when you're a disrespectful dribbler, like you just do, like
he's always looks for the nutmeg. That inside outside like fucking maneuver he does with his leg, his right leg.
Isco used to be like that, but after he came to Real Madrid, he kind of toned it down a bit.
Dude,
I think
that shit is cold.
Improve a bit. Like he just needs to take his passing to a new level, to be like to start like taking his game to a new level.
One thing I noticed, there's a little Coutinho in him, because every time with Betis, every time he got into the final third and he was in space, well, not a whole lot of space, but just even if it was just like a fraction of space, like
he would shoot.
He would just always shoot. Maybe that was the system in place for him, but yeah, like he needs to.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't watched a shit ton of him, but like I did watch. Like I'd say this season, I've watched 6 or 7 games of him, and I did watch him at the Euros, the under 21 Euros or 23. And his performances against Atletico and Barca this season were really impressive. Really, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Atletico performance, that was at home. It was a home match. Yeah. He scored a belter. It's a volley, I remember.
So I think he's a good signing. At the end of the day, he's a very cheap signing. I think we closed the deal for like 17 million. That's nothing, You can easily see.
Dude, how y'all getting these like? I don't know how y'all getting these like these cheap. These are just some cheap valuations by these clubs, and they don't make money. It's not like they're making bread on the side. Like there's got to be some fucking corruption deals going on behind.
His release clause is.
What is it?
His release clause is 15 million.
His release clause, damn. Because.
So we literally paid 17 million just for fun. Like we could have gotten him for 50 million, but we gave them an extra 2 million just because, like, whatever, right?
Compare that to the Premier League. Like Raheem Sterling went for 50 million, man.
And that was 2 years ago. Not even in today's market.
It's insane.
I mean, if If we just bought
Okay.
him, right? If we sell him tomorrow, I think we can get 35, 40 million.
Yep.
He's only
Easily.
20.
Man. Yeah.
Zach, are you there? Yeah,
Oh.
so just crazy. Like honestly, our squad right now looks really, really stacked. Like next level, especially with Theo Hernandez. You got to announce. Um,
Oh yeah.
you've got a Casemiro replacement now. You've got Marcus Llorente, so he can cover for
Marcus. How
Casemiro.
good is he? How good is he?
Very good off the ball, shocking on the ball. Like I don't know, some Madrid fans.
Shocking off the wall.
It's crazy because some Madrid fans want him to start.
Because
Uh,
I was listening to a podcast and they said that he's better than Casemiro right now. Like, that's what people.
I tell these guys that they're idiots because the only reason people think, let's be honest, the only reason people think he's better than Casemiro is because he's Spanish and he's cute. So they automatically think he's like a regista, like fucking Busquets or something. Like, he can barely even pass. I'm telling you, he was struggling to make a simple pass against 18-year-olds at the Euros. So, but one thing about him off the ball, he's actually amazing. Like as a ball winner, he's amazing. Really impressed me. But if you just look at him, you wouldn't think that he's that type of player, right? Because he's Spanish. He's
Yeah.
just like he looks like your stereotypical Spanish defensive midfielder. Your Busquets.
Yeah.
But no, for me, Casemiro is definitely better right now. Even on the ball, like Casemiro has a switch. I think we talked about this before. Llorente doesn't have a switch. This guy's passing is just shocking. Like he needs to work on it. But as a backup for Casemiro, he's very good. He'll do a job. Like if you're playing Granada away or something and you need to rest some players, he'll do a job, no problem.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's dope. Oh yeah, I think we just need to talk Arsenal, then we go to questions.
Yeah, do you want to touch on the Aubameyang to AC Milan rumors? And they signed Andrea Conti, the right back as well.
Oh yeah, the right back. Yeah, that's. And where did he play? At Atalanta?
Atalanta, yeah. He had like 9 goals last year.
From fullback too. That's crazy. That Atalanta side, they were like really good.
And they
They
got
produced
Kessie.
Kessie. They produced Gagliardini. Some really good. They produced some good talent. That
And
youth.
now they're going all out for Aubameyang after the Chinese transfer market closes. So in a week, Aubameyang can't go to China anymore. So if that happens, then they're literally just gonna go all out for him.
Yeah.
That would be huge for Syria and like AC Milan.
Dang. Aubameyang. Like no one. He didn't go. All the teams just pretty much curved him, and Dortmund want to sell him. Like they don't want to keep him an extra year either.
Well, he doesn't want to
That's
stay,
insane.
right?
Yeah, and he doesn't want to stay either. So
I think if he wanted to stay, Dortmund would keep him. But they know that he's gonna be trouble if he stays, right? So yeah, it's the transfer market is heating up. It's really heating up, and Morata now needs to be sold because apparently Perez senses that if we don't go for Mbappe this summer, then PSG are not fucking around pretty much, and they're gonna try to really take their interest to the next level. So right now I think we're just trying to sell Morata and James and go all out for Mbappe, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. Do you think Mbappe will leave or?
For what I'm seeing with Monaco, it seems like he wants to stay. They talked to the Monaco director. I think he was interviewed by Talk Sport or something, and he said that what he's hearing at the moment is that he just wants to stay for the season. But yeah, anything can still happen, man. August 31st is the deadline.
How about Lamar to Arsenal? Is he staying? Is he leaving?
That is not happening. It's a pipe dream because Monaco, according to all the well-reputable ITKs on Monaco, they say that Monaco want 80 million. Arsenal ain't shelling out no 80 million. So
Arsenal, they're not paying more than 50,
40 or 50, yeah, 40 or 50. So, and Lamar's father's has pretty much advised him to stay. That's just some shit I really follow Monaco shit closely, so I would know like all that. But yeah. So
Yeah.
I think he's gonna fucking stay for an extra season. What do you think about Lacazette to Arsenal?
Well, it took them 5 years to actually find like a decent replacement for Van Persie. So
Think
I
about it,
think he's
man.
gonna.
For
I think
10
he's gonna
years, he's
score.
been scouted for 10 years by
Yeah, that's
Arsenal.
crazy. Like, I mean, for Lacazette, I don't think he's gonna like score like a crazy amount of goals, but I think he'll do a job. I expect 20 plus Premier League goals, and in total maybe 30 goals, and he'll
Honestly,
give them
like
the extra dimension. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, like that's I expect the return of Vangerball. Like I know that sounds cliche, but
yeah,
you expect like more pace in the attack, and now you actually have a player who's like who can play very well with his back to goal. Like honestly, man, Lacazette versus Roma in the Europa League, one of the best center for forward performances of the season. Maybe honestly, he was brilliant. Um,
yeah.
if he can play like that at that level for a full month or like for a couple months into the season, like, he'd have Arsenal would be doing pretty well, and they'd easily make
I'm
top four.
the
So
bottom line is he's not. He's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Like, I mean, if we're talking best strikers in the Premier League right now, you would say Kane, Lukaku, and that's I guess that's
this
the
is all assuming Diego Costa is gone.
yeah. If Costa's there, then you've got Costa. So that's kind of the standard. Is Lacazette
Yeah,
as good as them? I would say most likely. I don't think he's far off.
yeah. People are really sleeping on Lacazette. Like I don't understand how Arsenal fans got prestige. Like where the fuck did this shit come from? Like
You've
like
got.
you're Arsenal. Like
I
y'all
was
are
watching Arsenal
mean.
fan TV, and you've got a guy calling Lacazette a fraud. I think, and no, not a fraud. He was saying that he's not good enough for Arsenal.
Oh
And
gosh.
I was 100. I'm 100% sure that that guy has never even watched it.
No,
Because
like
your typical Premier League fan that only watches the Premier League. That guy
yeah,
looks exactly like that, and he can't even spell his name properly. And then he's saying that he's not good enough for Arsenal. So it was just funny. Like,
yeah. But
um,
yeah,
Arsenal have options, but like if they keep Alexis and get Mahrez, I mean that team is a problem.
yeah. Oh man. But is it looking like Alexis to City is a possibility? Like it's been teased so much,
I think it's too good.
but there's nothing's come of it. Because you just know Arsenal's stance is not to sell to another team in England. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think it's too good to be true. I think he'll stay for another year and just run his contract out, or he'll renew. I just don't see him going
Man,
to.
that's just tough, man. If you're Arsenal, you want to get some value.
Well, you would
Do you
sell to
sell him
Bayern,
in, do
or
you sell him in January?
no, just sell him now to Bayern and for less money. Like if City are offering 50 and Bayern are
No,
offering
it's not. I don't even think it's about that. Alexis demands really high wages. Bayern have rigid wage
yeah,
structure that they adhere to and shit.
and
So
that's why Cruz left. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But
yeah,
it's not looking too bad for Arsenal, especially after missing out in Champions League. It's not looking too bad.
yeah. Thoughts on Danny Alves rejecting City for
Did he
PSG?
actually reject them, or did he just prefer to go to PSG?
I guess maybe it's more of the latter. Yeah, maybe I'm embellishing,
Yeah, I
but
think I'm not surprised. I think PSG probably offered him better wages. Um,
yeah.
because
Pepe to Besiktas though.
yeah, I mean, but what's it? Besiktas are going for so many top players. They already signed Pepe, and they
Are
want
they
to.
in the Champions League next season?
Yeah, they are. They won the Turkish league.
Oh
Um,
shoot.
and
Okay.
they went pretty far in the Europa. I think. I think they made the quarters in the Europa. So they're a good team, and they're also going for Costa. Like I think today, Costa posted a picture on Instagram, and it got over 2 million comments just because of their
Oh,
fans
did he?
spamming his.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, coming to Besiktas, coming to Besiktas. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Like if they get Costa and um,
Pepe.
yeah, they already have Pepe, so
Already
that's
have Pepe. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good team that can maybe do what I don't know if you remember, but remember when Galatasaray made the quarterfinal? They
Yeah,
lost to
with
Madrid.
finished players like Schneider, Drogba,
Yeah, and you know they remember
Abue. That was literally just the reject 11 and a reject manager in Mancini.
and
Like seriously,
yeah,
like that's what that
so
team
many.
was.
They had so many. It was
Man, Ronaldo finished that team, dog.
yeah. In the
Oh,
second leg,
so
they
cold.
almost came back in the second leg, and then
Yeah,
Ronaldo
they did.
scored again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
you want
What's
to
your
get the
questions?
questions now? Is Zach there or did he leave? Zach.
I guess he's asleep or some shit.
All right. Okay. We got. I think we got a lot of good ones.
All right.
Um.
Shebang.
Let's go. All right. So the first one is from Daniel, and he's okay. He's asking pretty much what's your favorite track from Jay Z's new album, and should Conte stay at Chelsea if all they get is what's his name, Caballero from City. So first of all, what's your favorite track from?
Oh, oh, favorite track for 444. My bad, dude. I'm so smacked.
Yeah,
Um, oh man, dude. Honestly, man, that album had so many bangers, man. And as a pure hip hop fan, like, man, you just can't go wrong with Marcy Me. Like that song is just textbook hip hop. Like, um, Marcy Me, Streets is my artery, vein of my existence. I'm the Gotham City
dude, just answer
heartbeat.
that, bro. Just answer the question. Like,
Dude, like, yo, dude, I gotta give Hove reverence, man. Like, this is we talking about Hove right now.
honestly, I didn't
So,
even listen to it.
all right, we gotta give Hove reverence. But yeah, that's that. And what's the second part of the question?
Um, should Conte stay at Chelsea if they pretty much don't get any new signings within the next like 2 3 weeks?
Yo, sorry, man, that shit flew quick. Ask it again. My bad. My bad. My
Okay,
bad, dude. I'm so stressed.
should Conte stay
Uh
at
huh.
Chelsea if they pretty much don't get any signings for the next 2 to 3 weeks? So if Chelsea pretty much keep fucking
They're
up,
at a dead end. So 2 or 3 weeks. Today is July 10th, I guess. So, well, it's past midnight. But yeah,
so let's
3 weeks.
say should Conte stay at Chelsea if
That's basically a month before the end of the transfer window.
yeah
So
if
if
they
there's
go
no
into August
progress,
with
yeah.
Caballero as their only signing?
Whew. And the season starts mid-August, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
mean, the Premier League season starts August 11th.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
early as fuck. Like,
That's pretty early.
I think from what I recall, I think it starts that early.
Yep. So what does that mean? That fucking means that Chelsea got to get their shit together.
Yeah, if I'm Conte,
Emanalo and Marina, who is the most powerful woman in all of football. Like that is a fact. She does all the discussions in these negotiations. I'm not a Chelsea aficionado or some shit, but like that's what I read. Um, like they got to get something done. The fact that the Bakayoko deal, they can't even get the Sandro deal hasn't progressed. It looks like Sandro's gonna stay, is he? Like,
yeah, I think so.
yeah. So Yeah, Chelsea have really underperformed, man.
Yeah, I think if I'm Conte, it's not
I
my
think he's
fault.
gonna dip. I think he's gonna dip
Yeah,
in
because
2-3 weeks.
the
If there are no developments in the next 2 to 3 weeks, he dips.
because look, the bottom line is Conte has never lost a title race, right? So his resume looks near perfect right now, and he
He wants to
deserves
keep it
better.
that way.
He
Yeah,
he
he
deserves better.
does. He's
They gave
he's
him
yeah,
they gave him a
on that
shocking
level.
squad last year, um, and he turned them from a hopeless. At one point, they looked hopeless, uh,
Hopeless dog.
and he turned them to Premier League champions, and they dominated the league. They could have won the double, and now they're not even giving him. I mean, he's not even asking for much, really. I mean, he's
Yeah,
asking for good players. He's not asking for. I'm pretty
he's
sure.
not asking the world or some shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Lukaku. If Chelsea didn't wait this long, they could have gotten him for much cheaper, like a few weeks back. Bakayoko. All Monaco are asking for is what? I think Monaco are asking for like what, 40 million?
um, yeah, 40 minutes. I think the fee's been agreed. Actually, I just think it's pending Bakayoko's medical.
Again, like it's
I
not
don't
a
know.
tough signing because no one was in for him until maybe today when United actually showed some interest. So again, they're just fucking around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the truth.
Next question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even Rodiga, they're not really. They
That
haven't
could be.
signed him, right?
Yeah, they haven't. There's nothing, no developments
Yeah,
yet.
I
But
would
I
honestly.
think Monchi is intent on selling him, so
Yeah, I would leave.
that's gonna
So
happen.
next question. This one is from Football Guy. How happy are you that these criminal bastards called Barcelona finally on the decline and they are back to being a mid-table club?
Dude, they got Leo, man. Like
Well,
they got
um,
MSN. Actually, they got MN. So as long as they got the two best players in the world, arguably, um, they're
yeah,
still in a
I
good
think
spot for this.
I
For at least 90% of the season, they're in a good spot.
I think for Barca to win a major trophy next year, or actually to challenge for a major trophy, like to seriously challenge, then you know one of Neymar or Messi has to drop a crazy season again. So Messi would have to drop another crazy
Messi,
season.
how could Messi have been better than last season?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
trying to say.
can't
So he has
imagine
to
that.
do
He
that
was a
again.
legit 12 out of 10 that season.
Yeah,
Seriously.
he has to do that again, and Neymar has to just go ham.
Yeah, if Neymar gives us like 2015 Neymar
Yeah.
or something, like it's a wrap. It's a
So if
wrap.
they
Like,
both perform, then Barca have a chance of winning major trophies. If they perform to that level, if they don't, then they're fucked because I just don't see how.
and honestly, you can expect, well, once pending a right back, you can expect you can or at least hope for better communication and continuity in that back line with PK and TT, Jordi Alba, Ter Stegen. Like you would expect, like
And Valverde is a very like from what I've seen of him, from what I've read about him. I mean, he builds from the back. He's a bit old school.
yeah.
Look at the Bilbao teams; they were quite solid at the back. So I think they might improve in that sense. But then again, I don't. No, I'm not saying this because I'm a Real Madrid fan. But if Barca do not sign him into
Get
the
that
window,
midfielder. They
their
don't get
only
that mid. They
hope is Messi or Neymar just going off. You know, that's their only hope.
honestly, I think it has to be from what we saw last season. It has to be Messi and Neymar going off,
Yeah, yeah,
not Messi or. Has to be and like
and yeah.
they both gotta play out of their skin. We're like
And Suarez losing some weight would help as well.
fat fuck. Yeah.
Okay,
So
next. next question. All right, this is from Andrew Rahimski.
All right.
Um, he's pretty much asking if Real Madrid's bench, including James, Morata, and the new transfers, he's pretty much asking how far can they go in the Champions League if we were to play with our pretty much B team.
So let's construct an 11 just for fun.
So okay, Casilla in goal, right back
Okay.
Danilo, the two center backs Nacho and Vallejo, left back
Okay.
Theo Hernandez, defensive midfielder Marcus Llorente, and then in front of him we'll go
Kovacic.
Kovacic, Thibaut, and then we'll have Isco, Morata, and
Asensio.
Asensio.
Round of 16.
I think with a top coach, that team can make a quarterfinal.
Round of 16 of quarters. Yeah.
If you sell Morata and you get Mbappe,
Okay, other than, yeah, it's that number 9. Once you just said Morata, I kind of soured a little bit.
yeah, if you sell Morata and get Mbappe, how far can they go?
Ceballos and what's it called? Wait, who are their fullbacks? Danilo and Theo.
And Theo, yeah.
Well, Danilo's looked awful in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, the only weakness in that
Except
team is Danilo. Like, the only bad player is Danilo.
and Theo, he's had no experience in Europe yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know, man. It's a good question, but like it's hard to answer.
It's actually crazy that we're even having this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
you've got top clubs, elite clubs with a shit ton of money that spend a shit ton of money, and their first teams don't even get out of the Champions League group stages. And
Yeah.
you're talking about a B team
That would easily
playing
get through
knockout
the group
games.
stage. Yeah, we're talking about knockout.
I mean, the crazy thing about the Madrid squad isn't necessarily how deep it is; it's how it's the different profile of players that you have. You have every type of profile, pretty much. You have,
But it's also players that all have seriously one. There's one commonality with all these players. They all have dribbling ability. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
like that shit matters, man. Like,
By the way, everything we're saying here doesn't include Danilo. So other than Danilo,
yeah,
other than Danilo, we're just talking about the rest of.
man. Seriously, we need to start giving Don Andres like some more credit, man, because he spurred this importance on dribbling from midfield. Like, you feel like I don't know, man. You feel like he in the possession-based systems, like his rise pretty much brought forth like all these players you see in a day, like a Ceballos, Hazard, who said they look up to Iniesta.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
I mean, because how many ball carrying midfielders did we have before Iniesta?
A couple, like maybe your Zidane's.
Yeah, but Zidane wasn't that type of play. Like, he was, but he wasn't. If you know what I
He
mean.
could ball carry though, but yeah, it was it's very quick touches, short touches.
Yeah, he
He
wasn't.
wouldn't really try
Some
and break
different
the
players
lines.
than, maybe Deco.
Yeah, Deco.
I'm just talking about players that I witnessed. Obviously, like, yeah, I watched Deco, Porto, Barca.
Kaká in a sense.
But Kaká
But
was more of a 10. Because different, like my point about
Iniesta, some people have described Iniesta as a 10, dude.
yeah, he is a 10. He's technically a 10. But what
Yeah,
really impressed me about Iniesta was how he took that skill, he took his skill set, and then he proved that he can play in a 3-man midfield with that.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
it's completely different when you're playing as a 10 to playing in a 3.
But
Also,
dude, shockingly enough, he played. Watch the 2006 final against Arsenal.
yeah,
Iniesta played very deep, very composed, like very tactically, like just tactically aware throughout throughout all his minutes on the pitch, and he changed the game. He
Changed the
controlled
game when he
the
came
middle.
off the bench. Yeah.
Yep, came off the bench, controlled the middle, played in a deep role. Dude, this is not like your Iniesta that's playing left of center. He was popping up in the right of center, just playing passes all over the pitch from deep as a deep line player. So yeah, he's had multiple qualities throughout his
Yeah.
career. It's crazy.
So just answering that question, I think really quick. Yeah, I think the Madrid team would make round of 16
Round
quarterfinals.
of 16 or quarters. You say quarters, I say round of 16.
Yeah.
All right.
Um.
Let's answer like two more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Will Paulinho bring balance to Barca's midfield? I hope this is for Miguel. Define
uh,
balance. Um.
Dog, should we answer this like Paulinho?
What balance? I mean, the
Hey,
thing
hey,
about
in a
Barca.
perfect world, just play Busquets and Rakitic.
Yeah.
just just destroy all the whole midfield. Like that's really just play them as destroyers. Let them destroy all over the pitch, and just focus on getting the ball to MSN. That's it. Just let Neymar receive from deep. Let them create. Just put the onus on the front three, and just get through to destroying the big games in Europe.
Yeah. I don't see the balance.
Honestly, some pragmatic ass coach would do that. Seriously,
Yeah.
like
I heard a lot of. I actually read an article by a Bilbao fan, just pretty much describing Valverde for the Barca fans, and he said that Busquets is not the defensive midfielder that Valverde would like. He's not his type of defensive midfielder, and he
hmm.
said that
So what's
if
better for him? Like an Iturraspe? Like
like destroyer, yeah. Um, and he said that if Valverde actually had the power to, he would probably replace Busquets, but that's obviously impossible because Busquets is just one of Barca's senior players. He's still class on
yeah,
the second half of the season. Like he started poorly, second half of the season he really picked it up.
yeah.
So I just don't see how. I mean, if he tries to replace him, Barca's bored, and I mean he just caused problems in the dressing room pretty much because it's like replacing Ramos at Real Madrid or something like that. Player that's just
True.
um prestigious within the dressing room and all that. So yeah, Paulinho doesn't bring anything to Barca's
Brings
midfield.
nothing to Barcelona. He brings nothing to Tottenham. He brings nothing to.
Yeah, I
He brings
mean,
nothing to United. He brings
he
nothing
might
to.
bring a few goals to Barca's midfield. He might, but that's about it.
Honestly, are we sleeping on him a little bit? This is a man who scored a hat trick against. Was it Argentina? Did he score a hat trick
Well,
against
okay, so how
Argentina?
are okay? If Paulinho signs, right? Let's say you want to start Paulinho. Where does he start? So does he start in place of Rakitic or in place of Iniesta?
Yeah, he
Let's
probably
assume he
starts in
plays
place of.
instead of Rakitic. Let's assume he plays if he plays instead of Rakitic.
He's no
What?
better than Rakitic, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Rakitic.
He's not. He's really not.
Like if Paulinho delivers,
That's actually an awful. That's just so awful. Like you can't make this shit up. Like Paulinho,
I mean, um if Everton signed Paulinho, would you say that it's a good signing? I wouldn't.
not really. No.
And we're talking about Barca here, so that kind of puts it into perspective. Anyways,
Yeah,
another question from Miguel. How much damage can a Tolisso? He's obviously a Bayern fan, so how much damage can a Tolisso, Thiago, Vidal midfield do? A lot of damage.
a lot. And I just read on the kicker on some kicker article that people that have inside information on the Bayern on Bayern's affairs, on Bayern's internal affairs, they said that Carlos looking to move away from possession ball a little bit and focus more on transition. Just transition attacks from defense to attack, from attack to defense. And he's just basically like gonna construct like a different he's not constructing anything different. He's just gonna you know adapt a different style for
Yeah, I think he
Bayern.
has to.
Yeah, and
The
they're not
profile
gonna
of
play.
players that he has, because as that midfield is great, but doesn't have a tone setter or like a controller. Obviously,
Vidal can control a game,
yeah,
bro. You're sleeping, dude. Vidal can control games.
no, I think Thiago can control a game,
Thiago
but
too.
Thiago,
Yeah.
I think Ancelotti likes Thiago closer to goal.
Tolisso can control a game. Tolisso controlled. I saw Tolisso control the game against Juve second half, like 15, 20 minutes, and
Do you think
he just
Tolisso
controlled the
can
game.
control
So,
a
like
game
these are all these midfielders are complete. These are three complete midfielders that
I
you're
don't
gonna.
think Vidal can. I love Vidal, but I don't think he's a controller.
He can control a game. I've seen him like with Bayern.
Yeah, I
Um,
think, but I love Vidal.
against
But I just don't like against in a big game against if you're playing just a big Champions League night, for example. You think Vidal
Mhm.
can? Because the only game I've seen Vidal kind of control, I think, was against Atletico last year, first leg or second leg. I can't recall, but like
You could
just
also say Benfica, and he even scored in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a Champions League game. Pep's last season at the club, I think.
yeah, last year.
Yeah, they won that game 1-0.
I just think that overall, I think Ancelotti has to. I don't think you can play a slower possession-based system with those three. I think you're not gonna get the best out of them if you play.
You know,
If you
and
play a
actually,
transition.
that's the thing. Tolisso was Ancelotti's choice. It was his recommendation to the Bayern board. He said, "I want him. I want that player."
Yeah,
So
if you play a transition game with those three, then you're just gonna destroy teams because they can match any midfield in the world in terms of athleticism,
yeah,
just pure. Um, they can just match you physically,
yeah.
and in transition, they have goals in them. They have dribbling ability, aerial threat. I mean, Vidal can fucking win some headers. Like if
Win
you recall
tackles.
that,
They're all good defensively.
yeah, and that game against
And
Atletico.
when you play with Vidal, he's just so good defensively that it's infectious in the whole team.
Yeah,
Like, did you see Thiago? He had the most interceptions of the season from any Bundesliga player. Like, he was never that kind of player. He never had that defensive intensity to his game before last season, really.
yeah, I'm telling people, man, like Vidal is honestly an iconic player. He's
Oh, he's one of the best players I've ever seen.
yeah, he's
Dead
literally.
ass.
I just
Like,
it's crazy
like
because people don't even. I've seen idiots on Twitter claim that um he's not even a top five midfielder.
because they don't understand the game.
Fucking
It's just that
idiots. Like
simple.
apparently you have to be uh regista to be a top five player. Plus Vidal is superb technically. You know, this Vidal is
Yeah,
not poor
he's
technically.
not. Yep. So
Like he's
yeah,
just an
man.
unbelievable midfielder. Honestly, like if we it
Yeah,
just hurts me that we could have signed him.
yeah. Y'all should have, man. After 2015, it should have happened.
Yep.
But yeah. So
Anyways,
yeah, man. That's been it for the FT podcast. I think we should try convene again sometime next week or so.
yeah,
And
things will heat up.
seems.
Let's see what Chelsea do. Let's
Yep.
see what happens in the Serie A market and all that, and we'll be back.
Yeah, and we'll catch y'all later, man.
All right.
Peace.
Good night.